We are early in the season, yet very early, 3 days into camp. In fact, 3 days into pre-camp, 3 days into the rookies and quarterbacks camp for the Kansas City Chiefs. And already there is a thread emerging that could be important to the way the Kansas City Chiefs 2024 NFL season turns out. We'll get into that in just a second, guys, but real quick, if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Kansas City Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, so if you are a Chiefs fan, consider hitting the subscribe button, and if you want to help me out around here, hitting the like button really does the trick, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. Now, let's get back into it. The player we will be talking about is a player that we have talked about on this channel since February, and talked about on this channel since February in very much the same light that we will be seeing here today. I have pulled up 3 tweets from Pete.Sweeney on X/Twitter that have happened over the first 3 days of rookie camp. On day 1, we got this tweet. These passing looks can be tough for breakups, yet we saw 4 in 7-on-7 Wednesday. Cornerback Miles Battle, for whom there is a video on the channel, got Mahomes, cornerback Chris Roland Wallace, and safety Jaden Hicks, for whom there is a video on the channel, got Wentz, and safety Trey Dean got Oladokin. On day 2, defensively, I counted 2 pass breakups on the day during 7-on-7. Safety Jaden Hicks and quarterback Ian Book. Hicks against quarterback Ian Book, and safety Trey Dean against Mahomes. On day 3, cornerback Kamal Hadden broke up a pass that led to an interception by linebacker Swayze Bozeman. Trey Dean broke up a pass that led to an interception by cornerback Chris Roland Wallace. And quarterback DJ Miller recorded an interception in red zone work. So, obviously, it's tempting to say Jaden Hicks. He's in 2 of these 3, but not all 3 of these tweets. We have here Trey Dean. We have here Trey Dean. And we have here Trey Dean. Every day of training camp so far, Trey Dean has done something tweetable by Pete/Sweeney. Now, we're going to get a little bit more into who is Trey Dean. This is an article titled "The Athletic Names Florida Safety Trey Dean III as UDFA with Best Chance to Make the Roster." This was from last season. Last season, while Trey Dean was a UDFA for the New York Jets. What is notable about the New York Jets? The New York Jets have a very good defense, a very good secondary, to be sure. So, naming a safety as the UDFA most likely to make the team is a pretty big leap. The article went on to give us this quote. Quote, being a matchup weapon against tight ends could also be extremely valuable for the Jets with Dean, especially against a team like the Buffalo Bills, who already had Dawson Knox in the mix and just drafted Utah tight end Dalton Kincaid in the first round of this year's draft. If Dean can help the Jets' defense in that regard, that could add another layer to what is already a strong defense. Dean will be very interesting to watch in camp and the preseason. We'll see if he can crack the 53-man roster. Who could be that player in 2023? So this was a little bit earlier in the article, but I wanted to lead with this part. But they go on and talk a little bit about the unlikely event that a UDFA actually makes the roster, and then goes into a little bit about who Trey Dean is. Who could be that player in 2023? The Athletics' Zach Rosenblatt ranked the 13 players based on who has the best chance to make the roster this season, and at the top player is Florida safety Trey Dean III. Here's what Rosenblatt had to say about Dean. He tested poorly in the 40, but posted elite results in the 3-cone drill, 6.69 seconds, and bench press, 25 for safeties, both of which would have ranked highly not only this year, but for many years running. The Jets have no safeties behind Chuck Clark and Jordan Whitehead who have proven enough to be locked into any roles. So Dean can seriously push to be the third or fourth safety on the depth chart. He's versatile. He has some experience playing cornerback too. And Brugler wrote that he has promising length, toughness, and loose movements. Hopefully not loose bowel movements. Even if he has to work on his recognition in coverage. Most intriguing, Brugler wrote that his best fit in the NFL is as a matchup weapon against tight ends. So who is Trey Dean? I pulled up some of the numbers for Trey Dean. 6'2" and 1/8. So he's tall for a safety. 79th percentile, 200 pounds, 32nd percentile. That 40-yard dash in question, that was a 4.75 40-yard dash, which is 4th percentile. Now, it is 4th percentile for people who actually run the 40-yard dash going into the combine or their pro day. Normally, I deign to offer that if you are a defensive back and you are hoping to play in the NFL and you run a 4.75 40, you refuse to run the 40. Trey Dean did not get drafted because he ran a 4.75 40. I posit that is the only reason he did not get drafted. Brian Cooks, by the way, was heavily rumored to be a 4.65 to 4.7 type guy in the 40-yard dash. He did not run the 40-yard dash. He ended up being drafted in the 2nd round. So, I don't think Trey Dean would have been a 2nd rounder. He would have been drafted. He ended up running a 1.60 10-yard split on that 40. Now, here's the thing. The 40-yard dash of 4.75 is 4th percentile. The 10-yard split of 1.60 is 35th percentile. That is nearly 10 times better by percentile than his 40-yard dash. We're going to get into this a little bit later with an aforementioned number as well. But 36.5-inch vertical, 62nd percentile. Not great, but not bad. 124-inch broad jump, 71st percentile. Again, not good, not great, not bad. The 6.69 3-cone drill. How quick can he start and stop? Boom, boom, boom. 92nd percentile, 6.69 3-cone drill. When you add in the fact that his 10-yard split was about 10 times better than his 40-yard dash, you get the idea that this is a guy who's going to play well in the box, especially when you see 25 bench press reps, which is 98th percentile for the position. Coming out of Florida, he had a 5th round projection. I think prior to running that 40-yard dash, however, he was trending up towards the 4th round. He was going to be a day 2 guy, or he was going to push to be a day 2 guy because of what he looks like on the field. He looks kind of a lot like Brian Cook on the field. As a freshman at Florida, he played 648 snaps. 648 snaps in the SEC as a freshman. Sophomore season, 446 snaps. 2020 was his true junior season. 2020 was the 2020 season. Played only 300 snaps. In 2021, however, he rebounded for 796 snaps. 2022, he had 721 snaps, meaning that he played 2,986 and 11 snaps of college football in the SEC stretched across 61 games. Trey Dean is a football player. Is he a track guy? No. Trey Dean is not a track guy. Trey Dean is a football player, and he puts that on display. Now, this was the article. I liked Trey Dean coming out of college. I did not necessarily think that the Chiefs should draft Trey Dean, but I was planning on following his career wherever it was that he got drafted. It just so happened he went undrafted, was picked up as a UDFA by the Jets. The Jets then, his contract expired as a UDFA. The Kansas City Chiefs then signed him because the Kansas City Chiefs season was still underway, and now they have Trey Dean. This was the article that made me take another look at him after he was signed by the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe this is from A to Z Sports. Jets sack leader Bryce Huff thinks Chiefs' new safety, Trey Dean III, has what it takes to be great in the NFL. Why should Chiefs fans be excited about... So I'm plucking this out of about the middle of the article. Why should Chiefs fans be excited about that signing? Just listen to what former teammate in New York had to say about him. Jets team reporter Ethan Greenberg asked the team's sack leader, Bryce Huff, which player he thought had grown the most during the season. He mentioned Will McDonald IV, the Jets' first-round draft pick in 2023, but he also discussed Dean at length. He explained that he saw a lot of himself in the undrafted rookie out of Florida, the University of Florida. Trey Dean has been a huge inspiration to me, Huff said. Just him coming in undrafted reminds me of myself. He has that fire, that chip on his shoulder. He just came out every day to practice, getting better and better every day. He was the same guy every day, full speed. I really wish he would have been able to dress up throughout the season, but he just wasn't able to get the opportunity. He's probably going to be a great safety in this league. Just how he works, just relentlessly. He just does not stop every day. He's probably going to be a great safety in this league, Huff said. Just the way he works, just relentlessly. He does not stop every day. Now, the Chiefs have a lot of competition at the safety spot. The Chiefs have a lot of competition in the defensive backfield in general, but I will say that I think this coaching staff has a particular bent towards guys who show off their work ethic on a daily basis. Trey Dean being the type of player who works incessantly is going to work out to his benefit. I think just based on what I've seen from Trey Dean at the college level, not the NFL level. Well, but he did play well in the preseason last year for the New York Jets. I believe, if memory serves me correctly, there were several videos made about him because I was following Trey Dean after the draft and he went undrafted. I believe there are videos from Jets type channels like this one about Trey Dean at the time, talking about him being a hard hitter, talking about him being constantly in the play, around the ball, all of these sorts of things. The interesting thing about the Chiefs at safety right now, the Kansas City Chiefs at safety right now do not have the same thing going on that they used to. You will remember the Chiefs used to sort of employ a strategy at the safety position where you had a heavy corner type safety, one, Thornhill. You had an enforcer type safety, someone to really come up and thump somebody, Dan Sorensen. And then you had a guy that was a crafty safety that was going to be the center fielder type, Tyrann Mathieu. The Kansas City Chiefs these days have seemed to have gone full bore on just saying, hey, let's see how hard we can hit people. Let's see if our safeties can really lay a hurting on people. Justin Reid is probably the least intimidating safety that the Kansas City Chiefs play, and I do not say that to the detriment of Justin Reid. Justin Reid has played a lot of football for the Kansas City Chiefs. Justin Reid is a football player. Justin Reid has made me shut my mouth and eat crow. But after that, you have Trey Dean, who is a walloper, and you have Brian Cook, who we know is a walloper. And now this season, they also drafted Jaden Hicks, who is a walloper. I mean, these guys are just, they're cramming in a whole lot of really big, really aggressive safety talent. And really big might not be, because let me get down here to the weight aren't the greatest in the NFL. Brian Cook finds himself only 206. Trey Dean currently listed at 201. Justin Reid, the biggest, at 207. But they're all 6'1", 6'2". So the Chiefs love to play three safeties. Are they going to keep playing three safeties? I think so, because they were willing to let Willie Gay walk away so easily. There was not much of a fight for Willie Gay. With this safety group, you have a lot of guys who can really play football. Chamari Connor is an everywhere type of guy. He's going to play some slot. He's going to play nickel. He's going to play safety. So that might be your safety or your corner heavy type safety. It might be that Justin Reid is going to be sort of the center fielder Tyrann Mathieu role at the safety position, which means you have Brian Cook, Trey Dean, and Jaden Hicks all struggling for that enforcer Dan Sorensen type role in this defense, unless there's something I'm not seeing. Because if any of those guys are able to do the center fielder thing, then you can take Justin Reid off the field sometimes. If any of them are able to do the third cornerback stuff, which I know the article stated that Trey Dean had done in college, I don't think he can do it in the NFL. I do not think that he is a cornerback type safety in the NFL. But if any of these guys can slide into those other roles, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be absolutely myriad at the safety position. But this video is not about Brian Cook. It's not about Justin Reid. It's not about Jaden Hicks or Najee Johnson, wherever it is that Najee Johnson decides or is playing this year, or Chamari Connor, wherever Chamari Connor is playing most often this year. This video is about Trey Dean. And guys, I really do think that we have to understand, prepare for the fact that Trey Dean is going to be competing for a starting position with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's big, he's rangy, he's a heavy hitter. He's a guy that football guys absolutely love. While I don't think that 40-yard dash is particularly representative of Trey Dean's overall athleticism, I do think that it is reflective of Trey Dean's long speed, and that long speed actually is exposed much quicker going backwards. So I think that Trey Dean might be limited to being the enforcer type guy. Maybe not even the center fielder, Tyrann Mathieu type guy. Trey Dean has the endorsements of all sorts of football guys. For that reason, I think he's someone to keep an eye on this preseason. And he's almost definitely, in my opinion, going to get reps during the year. But can Trey Dean end up as a starter for the Kansas City Chiefs? I think the answer is maybe. That's all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Kansas City Chiefs are the only thing that I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.